Is Charizard no longer the top dog in the Pokemon TCG? Things have changed, a lot has come into the market has fluctuated, and has Charizard been taken from its top spot? We'll talk about it right after this. That's right, guys. So we are getting closer to 2,500 subscribers. We're right there. It might even be there by the time that this is released. Hopefully it is. That'd be awesome. But just so you guys know, we are doing the giveaway coming up here. It's been a little hectic the last week with all the storms and everything here, lack of power, and just trying to get people up and running again after the storm that went through here in northern Wisconsin. But we are now getting everything on track. I'm going to sit down, finish up stuff for giveaway, so I'll be putting information for that on the community tab, so be sure you keep an eye on that. I try to do polls and I try and have conversation on there about what's going on in the Pokemon TCG to get your feelings on these things. So definitely watch our community tab. We have a lot of fun with that. Also, if you want to know what's in the giveaway, we're going to be doing the Charizard UPC, a box of Silver Tempest, a box of Chilling Reign, and a tin of Hidden Fates. We'll be doing those as a giveaway to show our appreciation to you here at Northwoods TCG, to you guys. It's what you guys have wanted in the polls. I put the polls up. This is your request. I'm going to be working on that ticket system. I'm hopefully to have the information out this week on how to get your tickets in order to put them on the items that you want to get your best chances at. If you want a Charizard UPC, you can put all of your tickets on Charizard UPCs. If you want the Silver Tempest booster box, same thing. You can just put it on everything. You don't have to put it all on one. There's going to be several opportunities to get tickets, which is going to be, of course, joining the channel, membership to the channel. We're also going to be doing Discord membership and Instagram. I think I'm going to keep it to those ones. Oh, Facebook. I'm going to do Facebook too, just because those are really the social medias that I use the most. And if you want to keep up to date with what's happening, they're great sources for you to be able to get into. So once again, today we're going to take a look at, is Charizard no longer the top dog in the Pokemon TCG? A lot has changed in this market. This market has fluctuated a ton since 2020 in October there going into 2021. We have so many new people. We have so many new directions that we are going in this hobby. And today we're going to take a look at some of the evidence that may show that Charizard is no longer the top dog in the Pokemon TCG. And I'll maybe put my speculation onto which Pokemon might have slid into that number one spot. So first of all, we're going to take a look at the top 10. And I'm going to put the top 10 on a list next to me of all the cards that are going on. We're going to start with number 1, which is going to be your Umbreon VMAX, of course, from Evolving Skies. We're going to have a Rayquaza VMAX from Evolving Skies, the Giratina V from Lost Origins. You're going to have the Charizard V from Brilliant Stars. You're going to come in with the Gengar and Espeon VMAX, both of which are from Fusion Strike. You've got the Glaceon Leafeon, once again coming in from Evolving Skies, Blaziken, and Galarian Moltres coming in from Chilling Reign. So there's going to round off your top 10. Now, keep in mind that Charizard V from Brilliant Stars, that alternate art, is in a number 4 position. Even with Giratina being out there for quite a few months now. I mean, it's not a new release. We've already had Silver Tempest released after that, and Giratina continues to hold on to that. Now, I did not put in the Lugia card yet because it's such a new set that there is still that waiting period of how that card is going to perform, whether it's going to drop. Currently, it would actually be above the Charizard V and would be in that number 4 spot and push everything down one. But I just excluded it on this just because of the relatively new release of that set. I don't think it's fair to look at a brand new card on a release or just after a release to throw it into the top 10 until we see where it kind of mitigates and kind of drops out to. It usually takes 3 months for a card to really drop down to its stopping point, and then it'll actually find its bearings and kind of move up from there. So once again, it is in there. I do know it's there. I do know that it's actually in the top 4. It's above that Charizard V, but I am excluding it because of the relatively new nature of that card currently. So let's take a look at this list though. If you take this list and you actually break it down, what are we looking at? The surprising thing is the apparent lack of Charizards on this list compared to how many have been released in the last year to 2 years in the Pokemon TCG. If we go all the way back to January of 2021 from Shining Fates, we actually have the Shining Fates Charizard in the top 20. It's in the 16th position. So there's 5 more cards in between the not top 10 I listed and then hitting that Charizard VMAX from Shining Fates, followed up by the Charizard V-Star Rainbow Rare from, of course, Brilliant Stars is down in that 19th position. If you put the Lugia in there, it's pushed down to 20 and barely on that list. And to be honest with you, that gold Snorlax is going to be coming up because that Charizard V-Star Rainbow Rare is continuing to fall, while that gold Snorlax from Chilling Reign is kind of moving up. So if we were to take a full list with that Lugia and, of course, that golden Snorlax, we would no longer have that Charizard V-Star Rainbow Rare from Brilliant Stars, which is surprising. I never thought that I would see that particular card go that low. I understand that it's a Charizard V-Star versus the Charizard alternate art in that set, but I was looking at comparables when you go back even to Champion's Path before the boom. That Charizard Rainbow Rare is still sitting extremely good at around that 200 to 200 plus range, along with that Shining Charizard. So I was thinking a similar Charizard Rainbow Rare. The artwork is really good. I think overall it's a good Charizard card. It looks really nice, but it continues to be lackluster in the Pokemon TCG currently. Now, is anything on this list subject to change? Absolutely. We could see big changes inside of here. Reprints could still change these numbers. Things could fluctuate because of those situations, and we could see a complete reversal of some of these items. But as of right now, the evidence is kind of showing that Charizard may no longer be the top dog in the Pokemon TCG. If we consider that Pokemon itself has been putting a Charizard in almost every set since Brilliant Stars and even Celebrations, we have been seeing continual Charizard releases, and number one, that could be playing a part on it. People are just getting tired of Charizards. I know it's hard to believe that for the Charizard fans, and I'm sorry, it might be a hot take for you, but to even myself, I love Charizard. I love the Charizard artworks, but I'm kind of getting tired of seeing them, guys. There's just too many of them inside these sets, and it's like Pokemon thinks that a set's going to be lackluster, so let's do a little Charizard inside of it, and pow bang, we're going to get what we're looking for and try and get sales out of these sets. And I think it's starting to potentially hurt the Charizard performances overall. What are we seeing? What am I thinking is going to be the replacement right now in Sword and Shield, especially the last part of this? With all these new people into the market, with all this influx of new people that didn't have the OG Charizards, that didn't come through Shining Charizards and all the Charizards back in WotC, and they really just kind of dropped in right now into this hobby, I think Eeveelutions are going to be a really strong contender for that number one spot moving forward. This new market seems to be really pushing to it, and I think a lot of people enjoy Eeveelutions. I always have. I've always enjoyed Eeveelutions over Charizards personally, and with Evolving Skies and the performance of that set, the alternate art versions of these Eeveelutions coming through, it has been just gigantic movements on that front. And I predict that Pokemon is going to see that and continue to push Eeveelutions. We're going to see Eeveelutions continue to move forward. Of course, we have Ash and Pikachu retiring here from the anime, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that's going to perform. I am willing to bet we're going to see more Eevee and Eeveelutions involved directly into the Pokemon anime. That's my prediction on it. Once again, I have not taken a close look at what their full spectrum is of things, but it's going to be kind of interesting to see how they pull it out. But with Eevee being brought in as another mascot of the Pokemon TCG and a full-time mascot, I think that that's going to be a continued push by the Pokemon International is these Eevees. Because if you look at the top 10 list, is just fairly new of a climax here coming into the Pokemon TCG. I think prior to 2020, the OGs were really pushing Charizards. Charizards were hot in Champion's Path. Even the Darkness Ablaze at the beginning was a really, really strong contender of Charizards until they realized how many were printed and how easy it was to get that Charizard. And even if we go back to Hidden Fates and in Sun and Moon, Charizards are top dog on a lot of the sets. Any of the sets that Charizards are there, and they are still top contending cards in that era. But things change. We get new people. Things influx. Things move. Everybody's changing. Everything is changing all the time. And maybe sometimes in the Pokemon TCG with this new influx of people, we might be seeing a changing of the guard. We might be seeing Eeveelutions continue to move up these lists and start taking over those upper spots. So once again, I'm looking at this list once again, looking at what the movements are. Even that Charizard V alternate art from Brilliant Stars has not changed price since April. It's been sitting at about $180 to $185 consistently since April of 2022. That's a long stretch of time with no upward or downward movement of a card. It has just stagnated. And while in that time frame, we are seeing certain cards such as the Leafeon, the Glaceon, the Espeon, all making big movements in that upward direction. And we can even go down to the one Sylveon card that's also pushing down on that lower part. It hasn't quite gotten as high. It hasn't crossed too far into that $100 range, but it's definitely making a big charge in that upward direction. It just missed the list at number 11. So once again, there's another one of those evolutions trying to break in and get up into that top 10. And overall, it could continue to move up, and they are all moving in the upward direction, while the Charizards are moving down. We are seeing a lot of downward movement on that Charizard Rainbow Rare. Even that Charizard VMAX from Shining Fates kind of pushed down to 80. It's come back to about 100. But overall, sales are between $90 and $100 on that Charizard pretty much regularly every day. So it's not doing much movement on that upward direction. It's been that way now for about 4 or 5 months also. And while they're stagnating or while they're dropping in price, we are seeing upward movements on the evolutions, which tells me that collectors and investors are seeing a trend and they are starting to move towards that direction. Now, once again, do I think that this is a long-term thing? Yeah, I think that this could be a big turning point for us in the investing spectrum, especially if you're looking at those good investments now. These evolutions, especially alternate art evolutions, might be the big ticket items to hold and put away for the long-term investment or 5-10 year investments. Even getting some in good condition, grading them, getting those graded cards, storing those graded cards in the 10 and 9s would be some great opportunities in the future for these evolutions as time moves on. Now, do I think that there's still a good investment opportunity in Charizards? Absolutely. OG people are going to buy Charizards. That's never going to change. I'm going to buy Charizards. I love Charizards as a collection. I think that they look really well. They look really good in collections. They're very nicely done. Artworks are very good on a lot of them. I think that there's some great opportunities for investment in Charizards. I'm never going to exclude Charizard as a good opportunity, but currently, if I'm a betting man and if I'm going to take my chances on something as a better performance, Eeveelutions, I think in the long run, may be a little bit better of a performance as we move forward. It seems like the more that new people are coming into this hobby, the more they are drawing towards Eeveelutions, and I think it's the opportunities that are involved with these cards. You have different personalities, different types that fit your personality as a player, as a collector. They fit everything. So that's a big benefit that you have to an Eevee and an Eeveelution collection is just the opportunities as a collector to personalize it to you, while Charizard is a fire-breathing dragon. I mean, at the end of the day, there is no real variation on that. If you don't like fire types and you don't like dragons, Charizards aren't going to fit you. But if you do like a spectrum of things, there is an evolution that's going to be there for you. And I honestly think we might be seeing some new evolutions coming. Personally, what I'm seeing in the Pokemon industry right now, I would not be surprised in Scarlet and Violet if we start seeing some new evolutions. Maybe 2 more coming out in Scarlet and Violet, some in the new region, who knows. But personally, I would not be surprised if that happened, and actually it'd be a welcome change. I think it'd be cool to see a couple more evolutions come in, some new opportunities for that collecting and invisibility of these cards. Definitely an opportunity if they do to try and jump on some of those cards if they're alternate arts or VMAXs or Vs or now GX or EX or whatever they're doing now. I think it's EXs. But if we're seeing those opportunities in an alternate art EX, definitely might be a good opportunity to jump on any new evolutions that come in. Because overall, I think that there's some great opportunities for them cards to perform extremely well with the current market and how evolutions are performing even compared to Charizard. So, once again, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about that? Do you think the Charizard in the last 2 years has kind of lost its position as the top dog and they are losing it to evolutions? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, or am I just completely crazy? Other than that, if you are new here, guys, and you did make it this far in this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button to help out the channel. Also, be sure that you hit that like button. That like button is key to really pushing this video through the algorithm. And as always, if you do like this information, I will put up these 2 videos up here for you so that you can watch it for your information and education afterwards. And we will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.